Hi everyone, welcome to Mom Talks on this Friday afternoon. Happy to have you with us as we continue our discussion on the fourth trimester and everything you need to know about being a new mom, bringing home a baby, taking care of the baby, taking care of yourself. So today we are back at Safety Stop at St. Louis Children's Hospital, our main campus here on Kings Highway, joined by my good friend Libby, good friend of Mom Talks, and we're going to be talking today about safe sleep. I know that was one of my biggest concerns when I brought my first daughter home, was making sure she was sleeping in a safe location and that we were following all the guidelines. SIDS is a scary thing. Sleep-related injuries are scary things, and I know that's true for me, true for a lot of new moms. So call this our one-stop shop, our resource for getting all of the correct information. So we have our baby here, and for starters, let's just talk a little bit about what safe sleep is and what makes this setup the ideal safe sleep setup.
Right. So this setup is really ideal for safe sleep because you'll notice we don't have anything in the crib besides the baby. Mm-hmm. Baby should be your cutest thing in our way. If we go on the belly, we are seeing a dramatic increase in SIDS occurring. A lot of different things can happen from that. Breathing can be compromised. As well as like pulling in of spit up or anything like that. So always back to the back for sleep.
Yeah, and we do want to point out that years ago, moms were told put your baby on their bellies.
Oh,
but not the case.
Yeah, you're gonna get the pushback from grandparents because that was what they were told.
Sure.
They're gonna sleep so sound on. Have everything free of outside objects, and baby's the only thing in there. So whether that's their own crib, pack and play, or even a bassinet, all of those are safe places for the baby to sleep. Right now we've got it in the bassinet portion to where the baby is sitting up a little higher. Always follow the manufacturer's instructions on when you can continue to use that bassinet. So for this one, we can only use the bassinet portion up to 15 pounds. That's generally right around the weights that most go with. After that, you just drop it down. And that's to accommodate baby who could maybe be pulling themselves up or anything like that. We don't want them up that high, so.
And some of them I know come with these little insets, like I know mine does, that has a little almost bassinet feature and then like a changing table feature.
Right, yeah. With those, you really want to use those with supervision with you standing around. Even the ones that have like the raised bassinet, you really could kind of see them rolling off and everything because babies aren't stationary. They move a lot, even those newborns. So
they wiggle.
Yeah, exactly. So most of those set inside like a raised portion like this, and then that's when you would want to put them in to sleep is in that raised portion, not really on top without you standing right by them.
So whenever you talk about having their baby in their own sleep space, does that also mean in their own room right away?
So no, not necessarily. So the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends that we room share up until the first year. And that's just to really provide that comfort too, because a lot of parents want to be close to the baby. We don't want to do bed sharing because again, they're not the only thing in that bed. You're in there, pillows are in there, blankets, all kinds of hazards. So really room sharing is a great way to still feel that close bond to your baby and be there in the middle of the night when they need you, and just general monitoring as well.
So to just sum up, they should be in their own space because sleeping is not safe.
Correct, yeah. A bunch of issues can occur with that. We talked about the blankets. It's a softer mattress, which is comfy for us, but baby needs to be flat on a furry mattress, which you can find in your cribs and your bassinets. And then also just the general thing of having a person in that bed. Sure, you might be a sound sleeper. That doesn't stop the baby from rolling off the bed, even if they're wedged between parents. It doesn't stop you from rolling onto them. And then just generally, it's not safe to have other people in there with you because we can't predict what we're going to do in our sleep.
Absolutely. So let's talk about how the baby is, like right here, they're wearing this swaddle blanket. So why do we like these?
We love these because they're not loose blankets. Again, baby should be the only thing in there. If we have a loose blanket in there, baby can very easily bring the blanket up to their nose. They could get, kind of tangled up in it. So these are great to have, the swaddles and the wearable blankets, because they're close to the baby's body. And they're still keeping them warm without really overheating either.
I know moms, you might relate to this with the swaddles or just a blanket. When I used to swaddle my baby, like going over and just checking, make sure it didn't ride up or anything like that. That's why I have one very similar to this and I love it. Just one less thing to worry about.
Exactly. Yeah. And I teach how to swaddle, and I still like the wearable blankets and wearable swaddles better because I do, even in the back of my mind, I have that constant thing like, oh my gosh, where's the blanket? Do we keep pushing it down? Right. That's why I feel like with these, you feel really confident with it, that it's hanging where it needs to be, it's nice and snug, baby's not going to break out of it like a blanket.
And I just want to say, I was never good at swaddling. My husband was so much better than I was. So right now we have this baby with their arms tucked into the blanket.
Right, yeah. And that's a great safe position for a child who isn't rolling over yet. Typically around 2 months is when we want to stop bringing the arms in. And that's because right around then is where we're going to get those babies to roll over. So if they do end up rolling over, we want their arms free to roll themselves back over. So general guideline is 2 months, stop the swaddling, in which case you can have either the arms out or you can move to a wearable blanket where you don't have this piece right there.
Now the thing with these blankets is also that the feet are closed in. So at what point should you stop having a blanket like this?
So you can use these as long as you find one that fits your child. So some can go up to like 18 months, 2 years, whatever you feel most comfortable with using. Now when it comes terms to when can we introduce like a blanket into the crib, you want to wait until that first birthday. At the first birthday, you can start introducing those lightweight blankets. By that point, the baby's not so much at risk for SIDS and things like that, and they'll be able to move it away from their mouth, their nose.
Yeah, kick it off.
Yeah, exactly. That's typically what they're going to do is kick it off. They're not sleeping with that blanket.
So let's talk about, so we've shown you what a really safe situation looks like. Let's talk about some items that are very common baby items. You probably see them in the baby catalogs and things like that that probably aren't good for sleeping. So let's see what we've got.
Yeah, we've got some no items here. So blanket's so cute. Cuddle baby with it a little. Don't want it in that crib like we were talking about, just bringing it up to the nose.
But you said that after a year you can.
Yes.
So that's when you can move to more having a loose blanket that they can take off and put on by own.
Yeah.
Okay, what else we got?
We've got a little stuffed animal here. Adorable. Perfect for baby to play with or to decorate the room with. But a lot of times I'll see photos of it sitting in there. That's kind of not great to use. Again, we want the baby to be the only thing in there, because baby's going to roll over. Roll over, and this could be a suffocation hazard. So, cute as it can be, baby's cuter, should be the only thing in there.
So my toddler now loves her stuffed animals. When can stuffed animals come into the crib?
So that's going to be roughly around that first birthday too, once we're kind of introducing those blankets, but at the same time, don't overload it with, stuffed animals. Maybe just have one, keep an eye on it. If it is something that they keep bringing close to their mouth to snuggle or something, maybe wait a bit before you introduce that.
What else do we have?
Yeah, puppies. These are
great for nursing.
Yeah, great for nursing. Also really great to have just for general playtime. All the while we want to make sure we are monitoring the baby though. Great for awake, but not for sleep. Part of the reason why it's not safe for sleep is because if you put that baby on there, they're not laying in that flat position that we need them to be. And the airway can actually close. So again, baby's going to be best on their back on a flat surface. And they also say, no, you can't use for sleeping either. So
that's usually a good indication.
Yeah. So follow the directions. That's really important.
So let's see, what else do we have?
Yeah. One thing I'm very happy is that they don't sell these very much anymore. This was difficult for me to find, which is good.
Good. So can you explain maybe for starters what this is?
Yeah, so it is a positioner. So years and years ago, they used to have it to kind of position the baby on the side. A positioned baby on the side is 2 times greater at developing SIDS than a baby who's on the back. Again, back is best. It keeps that airway open. So this isn't something we want to use. Just make sure you just don't buy it, which is fine because they're not
having
easy
trouble
to buy.
finding it.
Yeah.
Now, kind of on the one thing that I've seen is sometimes babies like lifting this up and like propping them up so they're slanted. You know, I think someone once said, oh, well, you know, if you've got a stuffy nose, prop the mattress up.
Yeah, so same thing. We still want to be flat. Don't prop that mattress up, especially we get this a lot. If we're propping up over here under their head, what's happening is we're going to get the chin to chest position. Chin to chest position isn't good because it's blocking that airway. We want them to be back to keep that airway open.
Okay, so let's see what else do we have in here.
Yeah, so we've got this.
Now, these are something I still see a lot of, but maybe a little less because I think some stores are starting to follow safe sleep guidelines in their marketing and pictures and things like that. But you still see baby bumpers.
So yeah, bumpers really, just like we were talking about, if that's in there, that's not making a safe sleep environment because we've got these walls that have no breathable air really that the baby could roll into. Sure, you'll get some that have the cutest little design on it. Again, baby should be cutest thing and should be alone in there.
So someone once said, oh, I have the bumpers because my kid rolls and then they'll bang their head.
Yeah.
So, but it could be, I can see how it could be suffocation hazard right there.
Exactly. And one of those, we get that quite a bit. Like, babies go in stages. Sometimes you're going to get a baby who, just for like a week or 2, they are rolling over and hitting that head. In those cases, that's when I recommend using like a pack and play because it does have those soft mesh sides. So you're not worried about like hitting a railing, but you're still in a safe environment for the baby.
So what we've talked about so far is, you know, kind of the sleep environment. If you're taking a nap, if baby is taking a nap, baby is sleeping overnight or not.
Yeah.
So what about just little cat naps or, you know, little things like that? Like one thing that I've heard again and again is when we bring my baby in from the car, she's in the car seat, she's sleeping, oh gosh, I don't want to wake her. Can I just let her sleep?
Not a great idea. Again, car seats, they're not made for sleeping. They are made for the car. That's why they are called car seats.
That is a whole other MomTalks topic.
Exactly.
Maybe we'll do that sometime.
Yeah. But with that, you know, we've been talking about avoiding that chin to chest position. When a baby is in a car seat, when you're installing your car seat, we spend a lot of time getting that angle correct. And that angle to be correct is to keep the baby's airway open. If we just set that carrier on the ground, we don't know that that's a correct angle. And typically when a baby falls asleep, they tend to kind of slide down a little bit and slump, and then the head does fall forward. So the safest thing you can do is to take baby out and put in the crib by themselves.
Oh, it looks like we have a question.
Yeah.
What about leaving my child sleep in a stroller?
Going to walk, there is nothing that puts baby faster to sleep.
Yep, same type of thing. You know, even if you kind of can recline the seat, you really can't make it go flat. So wanting to take them out and put them into those areas, like their beds, their cribs, whatever. And then, you know, with the stroller too, you always think about if you've got a toddler running around, what's to say they're not going to take their little baby brother or sister on a stroll? So again, not very safe. You know, when they fall asleep in the car or if they're falling asleep while you're on a walk with baby, that's okay. You're looking at them, you're monitoring them. It's when we walk away that we really want to make sure we're putting them, you know, in their cribs.
Several months ago, we had a lot of discussion about like the rock and plays, and they're essentially like little pop-up places to put your baby for a little nap. And they had a big recall on them because they just, I mean, frankly, babies were dying.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So talk a little bit about those and what made them so dangerous.
Yes, so there is those recalls on them. American County Pediatrics do not recommend that you use those because of the fact that children were dying. And it's kind of the same idea as a stroller, as a car seat, is that it's not meant for sleep. It's meant for awake playtime. With that, you've got all of this padding in there. Again, that's not what we want when we're sleeping. And they're just not at that correct angle. We need that flat, firm surface for them to be on.
Okay, so we've talked, there's a lot of information that we've covered here, and Safety Step actually does safe sleep classes. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So with those, they are individualized. We are appointment-based, so families just call 314-454-KIDS to schedule with us. And what we do is we talk to families about, what's going to be safe. First off, we want to know their impressions.
Mm-hmm.
What have they been told? What has grandma already talked to them about? What are they reading in the media? So we kind of have them get that all out, and then we go over the best safe sleep practices for them. We do utilize our cribs here, and we kind of will create like mock unsafe spaces. So I might set this all up with these dangerous items, and then ask the parent, what is going to be best for you and safest for your baby to sleep in. And then eventually we get to this goal here. So, and we individualize it so they can ask whatever questions apply to them. A lot of times we get questions about the baby's room and the nursery and how they're designing and decorating, just different things like that, or items that they get from baby showers. Pretty much if you're coming to us, we're saying, go take it back. So yeah.
So can you remind everyone where your locations are?
Yeah, so we're located here at our hospital at St. Louis Children's Hospital. We're also at our specialty care center off of 40 and Mason, the Magic House, and Progress West Hospital as well.
Libby, thank you.
Yeah.
That's going to do it for us here on Mom Talks. Join us next week. We've got a really great conversation coming up where we're going to be talking about just a variety of topics. We're going to be talking about going back to work. Hard. It's hard. So you'll be talking about what's going to happen whenever you go back to work. We're going to talk about, do you want to do a babysitter? Do you want to do a daycare? Do you want to do, what are your options? We're also going to talk a little bit about something that I'm sure many of you know about. I know a lot about. It's that mom guilt. And making those decisions and having that balance between being the mom at home and being the working professional. It's a hard balance. I can't wait to talk about it. See you next week.